Okay, guys, welcome back to the fan show. West Ham 1, Tottenham 1 was the result. Not a lot to be said about it from my point of view that I haven't said already. It was not good to watch, but we didn't lose. As ever, on the fan show, I will be talking to Spurs fans from around the world about their feelings on that match. And of course, I'm sure a little bit about the second leg of the Europa League semi-final coming this Thursday night. Let's go over to Italy first. Italy and Simone. Simone, you are an Italian journalist. So I'm sorry, Italian, one of the places where they love to play the beautiful game the way it should be played. And I apologize that you had to sit through that, Simone. What have you got to say about that 1-1 draw that I haven't said already?
Fair draw, Barnami. First of all, nice. Absolutely a pleasure to see you once again. Fair draw. At least Spurs this time didn't lose. This finale of the season, this last part of the season in the Prem, is just about friendly games.
Yeah.
There is nothing to play for. Of course, West Ham, West Ham away is always an important game in terms of the rivalry between the clubs, between the fans. But of course, nowadays, Spurs fans, just like we heard, even us from television, they are just looking for the second leg away in Norway. So the most important thing, guys, is always it's gonna be Norway. What to say about the game? I'd love to stress once again that it's a pity that in this part of the season we are not watching so much Mikey Moore, because I think that this final part of the season provided the best possible platform for him to develop. I'm not sure that Spurs will look to sign on permanent basis Matistel, but I think that Mikey Moore deserved more because Spurs are playing for nothing right now in the league. So I wanted to see youngsters. And it's a pity. It's a pity because in Europa League, in the group phase, it was absolutely unbelievable. So he deserved a chance. He deserved more chances.
Simone, what do you think about Matthias Tell? You said that you're not sure if Spurs will sign him. Do you think he's shown enough in his short time at Spurs to make you think that at some point he could become a player good enough to grace the Premier League and become a very important player, be that for Spurs or another Premier League club? Or do you think the tempo might be a bit much for him?
I think that he needs more time. I expected something more, Barney, to be honest. I expected something more from him. Even in terms of scoring goals, not providing assists, but scoring goals. I expected something more from him. £50 million is a huge amount of money. I don't think Daniel Levy will splash the cash for a player like him. So we'll see. If Bayern Munich will open the doors for a new loan, I think that is good. It's good.
Maybe.
It's a good possibility. But in terms of a permanent deal, permanent basis next summer, I don't think so. I expected something more. I am a little bit delighted by the lad because I really expected something more. I didn't think that it was the one that would change. He came in a very difficult situation from the club. The injuries were absolutely incredible at January, in the last part of January. But I expected something more from the lad.
And Simone, thinking about Thursday night then, and obviously taking into account what looks like potentially Solanke back, but Maddison out, I'm guessing anyway. Son doesn't look any closer. Do you think Tottenham have a real battle on their hands on Thursday night?
It's a very, very it's a very, very difficult game, guys. The game is not over. It's a leap, it's a jump, it's a dive into the unknown, because we are playing on the Arctic Circle, artificial pitch, plastic pitch. We don't know what we can expect. 3-1 is not 4-0. When you need to kill the leg, you should score 4-0. Yeah. And it's typical Ange Postecoglou conceding goals the way Spurs conceded on the last part of the game. So we know Spurs, but better, mainly we know Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham team. So the game is open. They believe, Bodo believe, they are the best tale of the last couple of years of international football, of European football, because geographically what they are doing is absolutely incredible. So I think that once this time, the most important thing should be try to score as soon as possible. Try to score as soon as possible, because if Spurs manage to get an early goal, it will change completely the tie. So hoping for the best, but it's not an easy game, because we don't know what we can expect from that game.
Simone, I just want to ask you something. You're an Italian journalist, so I'd like to just ask before I let you go, where are Tottenham now in terms of what Italians and Italian media and people think of them in terms of as a club? Obviously, you know, the league table looks bad, but in terms of Tottenham as a club, where maybe some Italian managers would or wouldn't be interested in taking the job, because we will obviously, I think, most likely be looking for managers. Is it still a club that you think Italian managers would want to come and manage, or has the Antonio Conte situation made people think again?
In terms of Tottenham reputation in Italy, I wouldn't say it collapsed after Antonio departed the club in that way. But of course, when Harry Kane decided to move on and join Bayern Munich in order to try to win the biggest things in football, in European football, like Champions League, for example, Bundesliga, it was not good from the Italian perspectives. So I heard a couple of rumors about Simone Inzaghi. Simone Inzaghi is appreciated by Fabio Paratici. Now it's time to see if Fabio Paratici, maybe in August, will be back at the club, because the deal between him and AC Milan definitely collapsed 2 weeks ago. So Paratici is still on the market. Of course, we know that he's got a ban.
But Inzaghi is the Inter manager, right?
Yes.
Why would he leave Inter to come to Tottenham Hotspur in any world?
There are rumors about the Simone Inzaghi's era at Inter de Milan that is arriving at the final stages, because 4 years now in Champions League, it's time to go all or nothing. So there are rumors about Inzaghi and Inter de Milan that can separate their future. I don't know. I don't think he's actually interested in coming to Tottenham.
No.
But who knows? Who knows? For Italian manager, Premier League is Premier League. Daniel Levy pays well his managers, even if
he doesn't spend it on the pitch.
He provides.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll see.
All right. Well, listen, Simone, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. Let's talk maybe after Thursday night. I would love to get your thoughts on what will hopefully be a big win.
Always a pleasure. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, next I'm going to Harry. Harry Scarf, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm bored, mate. I'm bored to tears. Did you find any positives out of that I didn't?
I agree with everything you said, by the way, and everything your guest has said so far. It's been a poor game, as you say, between two sides. They're clearly lacking confidence. Both had a poor season. Both want the season to be over really as quick as possible. For Spurs, the Europa League's the only thing keeping it going. The positives, I suppose, that are we didn't lose this game. We didn't, completely crumble. I know West Ham are bad, but I think the amount of rotation and changes we made, I don't think a point is the end of the world. And I thought we saw some good bits. I thought Archie Gray did a lot better. I thought Danso was good. Physically with Folkrope very well. So I thought that was positive. I thought our wingers looked good in moments. So no, I thought generally we were okay. And I was worried how Basuma cope. For example, with Paquetá and that West Ham midfield, I thought he'd done okay. So there's nothing that strikes me, Barnaby, to go, wow, that was incredible. But I thought it was okay. It was the Spurs team in the past, maybe just a few weeks ago, would have lost this game. Having said that, though, West Ham, I think, are a very poor side, and without Jarrod Bowen, would have been in serious trouble this season. So bit of a nothing game, as you said earlier. Very glad it's over because there wasn't much, to get your teeth into. Not a lot of fun action.
Did you get excited by Mikey Moore, at least like I did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought he'd come on, made an impact straight away as well. Another, nice couple of touches. Agree with the previous guest that he should have had more minutes. Yep. Obviously, we don't know the situation about it. He's young, he's raw, he's got to be protected. Totally understand that. But I think that we should have used him more, and he definitely made an impact when coming on, especially when, for example, someone like Werner, I know not at the moment at all what's happened to him, I know. But, over the course of the season, been used quite a bit. You've got someone like Mikey Moore, who I think is, yes, a raw talent, but ready to play, ready to prove himself. So I thought that is a positive that I didn't mention there. So there are a couple, Barnaby. The fact that we didn't lose is always one at the moment because we lose quite regularly, but Mikey Moore looked good.
And where are you on the scale of fear going into Thursday night? How do you think that's going to play out?
Quite high, if I'm honest with you. If you'd asked me at 3-0, and honestly, that goal makes so much difference. I was comfortable, and my head was in Bilbao, but we're only halfway there. We've got to be focused, get the job done. But at the same time, I think we play like we did in that game. We probably do get the job done. But the worry is that we're, increasingly likely going to be without Solanke, for example, without Maddison, definitely without Lucas Bergevall. So that's a blow, I think, without Son, if I'm honest with you, certainly from the start. So we're out key players. And I know someone like Son definitely hasn't had the best of seasons for his high standards, but you need someone like his experience in games like this just to see you out, get the job done, someone like his leadership. So I do worry about us crumbling. There's a lot of unknown, what they call plastic pitch up in the Arctic. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, and we're going to have to go there with the right mentality. And we can't, we've got to start well. The start is really important. That first 20, 25 minutes, we find ourselves losing in that game. It's an uphill battle till the end. But if we can somehow take the lead, I think that changes the game quite drastically in our favour. So, real shame to not only keep that, not manage to keep that clean sheet, but to concede, that does change quite a bit. So I'm quite nervous going into it. I think we're probably just about get the job done. We know with us, I don't think we'll make it easy in the start. I think it's going to be tough.
Where do you sit on what I was kind of saying during the watch along? I said it last couple of games on how different Kulusevski plays in that 8-10 role to Madders, and it just shows to me that it can't be because when Madders plays in it, very regularly he finds himself in that kind of inside left position to get the ball off the left, Mickey van der Ven, say, the left-sided fullback. Yeah. And then that allows Udogie to be further down the line or inverting. But Kulusevski has no interest in any of that and seems to just only be interested in getting involved in the opposition's half. So it shows to me a little bit like it doesn't seem like it's tactical from Ange. It seems like it's like each player deciding himself, or I don't know, or is Ange saying, maybe Ange is like, oh, well, Kulusevski doesn't like to do that, so I'm not going to ask him to do it. But I feel like we need a player to control the game in there.
Absolutely, and I think Maddison, does do a lot of talking, probably far too much, but he did produce in that first leg. I'm totally with you. I think that they both play a different game, and a lot of it depends on the opponent, if I'm honest with you. I don't think Kulusevski had a good game, and I don't think he's been that great since coming back from injury. Of course, it's going to take a while to get what they call match fit, up to speed with things, and also to reach his high level he's set for himself. He's set a really high standard with how he's been this season. He's been such an important player. It's easy to forget because of the time period he's been out, and also before he got injured, he wasn't that effective. But throughout the season, actually quite a positive on the shining lights of the season. But he hasn't done enough since coming back for me, and he just isn't really offering anything. And even things that he's good at, like coming inside, putting the ball in the box, he just didn't do enough. He just lacked confidence for me again today. It's clear to see. Whereas Maddison, I think we know what he's capable of. I think he's a top player, but it's just, can he do it week in, week out? Can he stay fit? Can he, keep his head concentrated in the game? Because I think he loves the cameras, the media, the drama. That's the problem for me with James Maddison. And he gave it a lot, a big talk, as he usually does before a big game, like, for example, the first leg against Bodo. But he did produce, which is rare when he gives a big talk before the game, which is what you want. At the same time, I also look at us and go, look, we're 16th, probably going to finish 17th. And you've got him, like, always before London derbies, giving it the big one. And just like, look, keep quiet and crack on. So there's two sides to it. I think Maddison is the better player for Ange's system. I think he's better certainly in that role, but Kulusevski has a lot to offer, and he's more kind of, I suppose, flexible and versatile in terms of he can play in a couple of different positions. Both key players for Tottenham.
Harry, I don't think I've spoken to you for a couple of weeks before I let you go. Where are you at with let's assume that Ange is going to I've got a feeling that Ange will be allowed to say that he's resigned. That's how I think it's going to work. I think he'll get a little bit of a payoff and he'll be allowed to say it was kind of his decision. But assuming that Ange is no longer at the club, in June. Where do you think Spurs will go next, and where do you want them to go next?
Good question. It's a tough one. I think we're all kind of in general agreement that Ange Postecoglou will not be our manager going into next season. I do think it'd be by mutual consent. Obviously, you say there in terms of him resigning. I don't think that he'll be sacked. I don't think that's a situation that either party wants to find themselves in. So I think it'd be some kind of mutual agreement. But I think it wouldn't be surprised me if they're already discussing it. I think we hopefully part that conversation till the end of the year, if not the end of our Europa League campaign, which hopefully isn't coming to an end anytime soon, because they don't want any distractions from that. However, at the end of the season, that's a genuine conversation that needs to be had. I think it would be right to stick to someone with a like-minded kind of view of football in terms of the way it should be played, ball on the floor, possession, attacking. It wouldn't be right, because I think that's what we've done wrong. We went from someone really attacking, positive-minded manager, if you like, in Maurizio Pochettino, to really negative and dull, I suppose, football, Mourinho and Conte. And the players can, I don't think, cope with that transition. And if we get a manager that plays a completely different system, he's not going to come back. But let's say someone like Jose Mourinho, then you're making yourself a big job in the transfer window. We know we don't deliver. We don't sign world-class players. So that kind of big name, Barnaby, isn't going to work for me, because we're not going to give them what they want. You're better to go younger, give them time, big, lengthy contracts. And we all hear all this rubbish about, transfer windows that we're basically not going to compete. Again, we're not going to spend. I don't understand why with a new stadium, but it's a separate conversation. So I don't know exactly in terms of the individual who we go with. And I'm not saying it should be someone like Ryan Mason, by the way, but I think it's someone like that in terms of young, hasn't had too much managerial experience, but coaching experience to come in. I like the way that Arsenal have done it with Arteta. Obviously, a very unlikable guy himself. But I think we could go down that kind of route. Levy does like to copy Arsenal. He's proved that the new stadium, etc. Different recruitment models. Not always right. But I think, going down the route of a younger manager, it's about finding right. And there isn't that much out there. I think ideal would be to bring Maurizio Pochettino back. But is Daniel Levy going to go back? No. Is Pochettino going to leave this summer in his role, new role as US national manager? I don't think so, despite not starting well. So in hindsight, it's a difficult one, Barnaby. We need something to change. I think we need a complete overhaul of the club, whether we see it or not. I don't think so.
Well, Harry, that was a perfect answer to also at the same time not give an answer. So congratulations. You really sat on the fence magnificently there.
I am. I'm very sorry.
Are you I assume you're not going to the Arctic Circle on Thursday night?
No, I'm not, I'm afraid. But if anyone is, obviously get behind the team. A great, kind of experience. I thought the atmosphere in the first leg was very good, and the performance clearly, bounced off that. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm saying about fans. Look, wherever you stand with this ownership, this manager, this group of players, this club in general at the moment, even if you're disconnected, if you're going, get behind the team, do everything you can to be the top man. They've done that. I think that's a big reason why we win the game. I don't think we start like that if it's a toxic atmosphere at the start of the game. I don't think we respond like that. Andrew acknowledged that. Several players acknowledged that. But no, I'm not going to the second leg. But what an experience it will be.
Yeah, amazing. All right, well, listen, let's maybe talk after that, hopefully, which will be a victory, and we can discuss our flight plans to Bilbao. Have a great rest of your holiday, mate.
Thank you. All the best.
Bye-bye. Okay, next up, I'm going over to the USA and Scott. Scott, thanks for being patient, mate. What did you make of that ball draw?
I, again, left at half, did not worry about getting back to catch the game live. I came back, I could hear it playing upstairs, and it just sounded so flat. Didn't hear you reacting, and I was like, okay, it's got to be still 1-1. Oh, miserable. But
very miserable.
I'm not going to start moaning. Some of the people that get in here, they're like, it's like, this is what it's been all season. Our Sunday games, I don't remember the last good Sunday game in this whole Europa run.
Yeah.
Do you? When's the last good Sunday game?
Not really, but let me try and turn this to a positive. If I had offered you this situation at the beginning of the season, a Europa League semi-final, 3-1 up after the first leg, but you're 16th in the league and probably going to finish 17th, would you have taken it?
That's almost impossible, really, isn't it? Because, I mean, we're getting this amazing cup run, and I don't think it's really been that lucky. I think we've really had a good cup run, but it's embarrassing. You know, when these, like today, it's almost like, well, who cares? I don't even care, because I know they're going to play crappy. He doesn't start Kinski because he's afraid. Spence, he always puts in on the left. I think he had a good run on the left, but I don't think he's really cut out for the left consistently. Occasionally, yes. But the notion that he can just jump over the left, I think he should be starting the right in this game, and then on the left with Puro on the right. in the next in Europa. But I think
he's
that's
resting Porro. I mean, Udogie's done well since he's coming in the Europa League, though.
he has played well, but I just think Spence, I think, is carrying a little bit of a grudge. I don't think he said anything, but I don't. He just looked like he didn't care for that first half. Then he looked like he cared in the second half, probably because he knew he didn't look very good.
Yeah, and Scott, since I last spoke to you, obviously it seems a bit more likely that we're going to be without Bergvall, Son, maybe and Maddison, possibly Solanke. How does that affect your thought process of our chances of keeping our lead for that semi-final on Thursday night?
I think Solanke is definitely going to start. I think this is the first game that I think Ange actually thought, oh, I should rest him for at least one game. He should never start Tell on the left. I mean, Tell got, I'd have to say, lucky that Kilman made that play right through him and basically gave him the ball. But I think Tell should have been in the middle for this game. And then Richie should have been out left because he played really well on the left last game. And so I think Dom will be back. Oh, Matters. You know, we complain about Matters when he's in there. We complain about Matters when he's not in there. So really, I think he does play up to the whole kind of the victim, poor me thing. But I think we need him. I just don't know who fits that role because Bentancur doesn't think forward enough. He thinks about these little dinky passes. And whenever he tries to make a real good through ball, it just doesn't really come off.
He's been playing pretty well in those games.
He has. And I think he is the key. Today, if he had played, I think they would have played a little better. I think Biss did okay. I mean, I don't know. I think you were a little generous with your sixes because I think Spence was a 5. I mean, he didn't play well enough.
He improved after the first 40 minutes. That's what I thought.
So he went from a 3 to a 6, but you got to average those.
Yeah, maybe
a 5.
I don't know. I guess maybe I was just like,
I know.
We didn't lose. I'll give them all 6s.
I know the devil.
But also because most of it is like I can't even remember how they played because it was so boring.
Danzo, I thought Danzo stood out. I think he should have got a 7 from you, not a 6.
He's a proper worker bee, Danzo. No, I think you'll find that in the end maybe I did up him to a 7, didn't I?
Oh, did you? Okay.
I think I might have done.
I'll look back at my notes.
Okay, so because I'm not going to speak to you until after the game, what is your prediction for Thursday night in terms of the score?
You know, I go back to Tamworth. They're probably better than Tamworth, obviously. Maybe Europe. I don't know what Europe's really like. I mean, I can't even picture it. I don't watch any Norwegian games. Watching them in that game, I thought they were toothless. Of course, they're missing 3 players, which I don't know how that impacted them. I'm going to go for a 2-1, maybe loss, maybe win. I don't know, but I think I'm going to go 2-1 no matter what.
But we'll be in the final. I like that positive.
In the final. I mean, hell, why not? I mean, sometimes I read the comments. It's just like, oh, loosen up.
Well, I think if we do make it to the final, no matter how we do it, we'll be very loose on Thursday night. Thanks so much for being a part of the show, mate. And let's speak again after Thursday.
Maybe. See you later.
See you. Bye-bye. Okay. I'm just going to ask Gary if you can come back to your camera if you're still there and we can talk. But if not, then I'll just go through some... Yes, here comes Gary. There he is. He was just off camera. I'm going to let him sit down. Checkmate 734 says Tottenham will play exactly like this against Boda. The only difference is that Boda won't be good enough to take advantage and exploit Tottenham's weaknesses. Well, I think they'll be better than West Ham personally, but let's see what happens. Okay, Gary, thank you. Sorry about that, mate. Thanks for being patient. What did you make of that game at the London Stadium today?
Boring, but it is what it is. I was more interested in watching the players that don't normally play. I just wanted to see. I definitely wanted to see how Basuma played.
Yeah,
and I love Dancer. I think he's a beast.
Well, let's start with Basuma. What did you think of his performance then?
It was okay. It was. I don't know
what it was.
Yeah, it was what it was. It was never gonna. He was never going to be a Goliath like he was against Bodo. But
it just seemed to me, sorry to interrupt, it seemed to me like there were so many fucking bodies in the middle. It was like endless little fouls because they were just, nobody could get the ball out of their feet at any point. And it was almost made worse by the fact that Spurs were kind of unwilling to get it wide a lot of the time. So then, you know, each time they got a free kick, they then pass it sideways and backwards to Vicario, then long up to nobody. We lose it, comes into the middle, a little foul, a bit of head tennis, scrappiness, boring, like you said. And so none of the players, until Moore came on, I thought, none of the players were able to show any ability to kind of create space. But more straight away, what I really noticed was able to kind of, I think maybe by showing his fullback he was going to go down the line and then coming deep, was able to create some separation and find some space for himself, which is why I kind of enjoyed having him on the pitch at least.
Yeah, he was good to watch. It was nice. It was, like I said, I was hoping that would see him and more, just those fringe players that we don't normally see, which I was a bit disappointed we didn't see more. But yeah, look, and I wanted to see Richie on the left again, like what he did against Spurs.
Yeah, I was surprised that didn't happen. I was surprised he didn't start with that as well. But Ange likes to do weird stuff like he likes to do weird stuff like that and say, "Oh no, mate, we're not gonna train on a plastic pitch. They're all different, mate." Like, yeah, but not as different as grass and plastic, you dick.
Is that your best Aussie impression? Is it?
Mate, I'll have you know that is a Stone Cold Neighbours 1989 Australian impression.
Okay, I'll give you that. Now, look, I, as most Spurs fans, probably tonight for me, but just didn't really care. Just like it's all about Thursday, and I still, like I said, I'm confident we're going to go through. I know it's going to
Tell me why. Tell me why you're confident.
Because we need it, we want it, and it's just going to.
So do they want it. They want it.
I reckon, yeah, but I reckon it's just our time. I reckon it just is. Like I said, my thoughts are just the way we played against. I know it's got nothing to do with now, but it's just the way we played against Frankfurt. I just thought, yeah, look, okay, these guys just going to turn up, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on Thursday, but. Yeah, look, I'm fully behind him. I'm fully backing him. If I'm a betting man, I'm just gonna say we're gonna go through.
Okay, I really love that positivity. I'm all for it.
And I'm not normally like that. If you asked me this about whatever it is 6 or 7 weeks ago, I would have just been very, I don't know, I'm not sure. But no, I'm in, man. They've got me now. They've got me.
But what I'm really hoping is that on Thursday night, the likes of Romero and Bentancur, and to some degree Richarlison, I guess, will show their experience and really show the kind of battling qualities. Because I think it will be at times a battle, but also, you know, where Spurs are better, and this is where it's similar to Manchester United actually, is we're much better when we're playing teams who do come at us. And at some point, Bodo will have to properly come at us. Especially if we don't concede early. If we concede in the first 15 minutes, then that'll make it much easier for them to just be patient. Chelsea have just scored against Liverpool. But if they don't score in the first 15 minutes, they have to come at us. And that's when we're at our best, because then spaces open up for our wide forwards to get down to the byline, get it across for the likes of Brennan Johnson. I think Johnson will start, and I think Richarlison will start on the left as well. And if Solanke is able to start, then we'll be able to be a bit more direct, and it should work a bit more than it did today.
No, that's what I see. Yeah, I can pretty much predict what his team's going to be for Thursday, which is okay. It's fine. Okay, I'm not sure. Apart from Madders, I'm not sure about Madders starting.
I don't think he's going to be fit, unfortunately.
We play so differently without him. But
I know.
Okay.
Is there a way that this is a bit of a left field one, but is there any way that he starts Kulusevski on the right and then says to Mikey Moore, "You play in that 8-10 role and just come and get the ball as much as you can"? Because I just don't think Kulusevski likes to come deep and get the ball, and I feel like we miss that when Maddison isn't playing. Seems unlikely, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It can't be Pap Sarr, because Pap Sarr doesn't have the technical ability on the ball to come and get it on the half turn. I don't think.
No, I don't think Andrew trusts Mikey Moore that way. I can't see that. No.
All right. Well, Gary, you've been positive about it. Let me hear your score prediction for Thursday night then.
I am going to go with a 1-1.
I'd be very happy with that. I would be
I'd be happy with that. And actually, I'm gonna really predict that there's going to be no goals in that first half, which I really hope.
I hope so. But the only thing I'm worried about with that is, in the goal in the knockout match against Dynamo Zagreb. It was, and we were.
Don't bring that up.
It was 0-0 until the 60th minute. We still found a way to lose 3-0. So
yeah. I just don't bring that up. Just forget.
All right. Apologies, Gary. Listen, Gary, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Let's talk after Thursday night.
Yeah, thanks, Barnaby. Cheers, mate.
Oh, man.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was the fan show. If you want to be a part of a future fan show, please email Chris on tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's really important to the channel to give everyone a voice, particularly those from around the world. So wherever you're from, please do get in touch.